Oyez, oyez, oyez. This hereby opens the royal court of King Morgan and Queen Elizabeth, sovereigns of this great kingdom of Atenveldt.
So, good afternoon, Atenveldt, for another virtual court. I don't think these are going to get any easier or any less comfortable, but we're going to do it anyways. As a lot of you already know, the board of directors has officially closed the SCA, so to speak, until the 31st of January. That was to help the crowns that are sitting right now not have to continue to get variances to keep things that can't happen from happening. So we'll continue doing virtual courts, and coronation will take place when the society reopens. But please continue to send in award recs for those that are doing stuff even in these tough times, because we're going to continue doing virtual courts. Your Highness, did you want to say anything?
It's just me today. Her Highness had something that she could not get out of. So first things first, thank you to Valora for continuing to make me beautiful garb that is not fighter tunics to wear in court. She's been absolutely wonderful during COVID. I think she's been really bored. So she makes me lots of cool things, which is fun. We did an investor not too long ago up in Ered Sul. And I had heard that it did not get recorded, but there was a couple things that Christopher, His Excellency now, brought up that I thought were very important, and I thought it was very cool of him to talk about that. And one of those things is, as Their Majesty said, we are closed until January at this point, which gives us kind of a lot of time to sit and think. We do have the opportunity when we come back to, maybe make some adjustments or how we deal with new people, or, we've got time to better any processes that we've got to make the SCA a better place. And so if anybody's got any ideas or anything that they're looking for, we really appreciate all the effort that a lot of people are putting in. But we do get a little bit of an opportunity of a reset. A lot of us won't have seen each other for a year or so. I am super excited to see everybody, but I do imagine that everybody will be in pretty good spirits once we do get to join each other around a fire again. So, and the other thing too, I imagine Chris may have posted about this on his Facebook page, but I believe he has some plans for garb and for a theme for 2021 that himself and his Baroness and Amiana and the other barons and baronesses are working on. So if you're interested in working on a theme, I believe they're doing the Gallic Wars, which is really, really early period. And I can't remember which side of Zero that's on, so I'll let him kind of deal with that. So thank you, everybody.
Their Majesties desire the presence of Kadak deadfish.
This dental is in the rapier community down in the barony of Turiscadir, and he's an important part of their rapier community down there, has been for some time. He is their current marshal. He is their primary fencing instructor. He has served as their baronial champion, and he goes out of his way time and again to promote the fencing community. And for these efforts, we would like to reward him today with a golden blade.
Let all by whom these letters come know that our subject, Kadak Deadfish, has pleased us greatly with his skills and prowess in rapier. We, Morgan and Elizabeth, King and Queen of the Kingdom of Atenveldt, are therefore minded to admit him unto the noble order of the Golden Blade, done by our hands this 29th day of August, Anno Societatis 55, being 2020 in the common calendar. Morgan, King, Elizabeth, Queen. 3 cheers for our new Golden Blade. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Your Majesties have business with Kirsten Maria Matz.
So Kirsten, was the collegium coordinator at War, and while she worked other jobs at War, she specifically put in to do this job this year because she wanted to make it more inclusive, fun, and make sure that it functions smoothly. And I feel that she did a wonderful job. And so today we want to make her a star.
It is known far and wide that Australia War is a place for friends, fun, learning, and celebration. This would not be possible without the service and timeless efforts of the volunteers. To honor such, we have the Order of the Star of the Desert, which we now bestow upon Kirsten Maria Matz to be known as a companion Ghouls. Done on this 29th day of August, Anno Societatis 55, also called 2020, Morgan King, Elizabeth Queen. 3 cheers for this new Star of the Desert. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
So, as His Highness mentioned, we did recently invest Christopher and Miana for round 2 as Baron and Baroness of Eredsul. And then coming up 2 weeks from today, we have the investiture of Brian and Leah in the Barony of Granite Mountain. And on that day, we will also be elevating Paul and Camille to the Order of the Pelican. And so we hope that you all can join us for that court.
The Majesties desire the presence of Christopher of Sundragon.
Christopher has participated for many years and done a lot to enhance the beauty of the kingdom with his art. He's won the combat stitchery competition of fabric war. He does beads, knits, creates jewelry, provides largesse. And it came to our attention that he's not a lord of our kingdom. And so today we fixed that.
Now take heed, all ye unto whom these words come. It is our pleasure to honor such of our subjects who have, through their loyalty and dedication, brought renown and enriched the glorious kingdom of Atenveldt. For this cause, we do bestow an award of arms unto Christopher on this 29th day of August, Anno Societatis 55, being 2020 in the Common Era. Morgan Rex, Elizabeth Regina. 3 cheers for this newest Lord of Atenveldt. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Their Majesties call before them Shavana of Mons Tenitris.
So we've known this lovely young lady for a number of years, back to when she and our son Troy ran around a couple of sites, getting lost on the golf course when we were Baron and Baroness back a million years ago. And we've just been honored to see her grow into the lovely young woman that she is today. And in December, we visited the Barony of Mons Tenitris for their Yule event. And we sort of sprung a little surprise on her and we asked her, hey, will you be the Crown Herald today? And she got this very panicked look on her face until I whispered in her ear, sweetie, we're going to give your mom a fleur today. And she was like, yep, I'm on it. I'm doing it. And so she served as our herald. And honestly, she just helps anybody and everybody who asks or needs and maybe doesn't ask. She reminds me so much of her dad every day. And so today, we would like to recognize her as a beacon of the desert.
May all who come to see these letters know that our subject, Shavana of Mons Tenitris, has served our realm with dedication and honor. Therefore, we are greatly pleased to admit them into our order of the Beacon of the Desert, done on this 29th day of August, Anno Societatis 55, which many also call 2020, Morgan King, Elizabeth Queen. 3 cheers for this newest Beacon of the Desert. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Their Majesties would see Nichelle of White Wolf.
I believe pretty much everybody knows who Nichelle is. She's noted for so many different things, but today we're going to talk about how much she's worked for Australia War over the years and how how hard she worked as Maine, and now she's serving as the Seneschal in charge of war. And we want to recognize her today for all of that service.
It is known far and wide that Australia War gathers great fighters, artisans, merchants, and friends for great fun, learning, and celebration. This would not be possible without the tireless efforts of the volunteers. To honor such, we have the Order of the Star of the Desert. which we now bestow upon the shell of White Wolf to be known as a companion gules, done on this 29th day of August, Anno Societatis 55, also called 2020. Morgan King, Elizabeth Queen. 3 cheers for this newest star of the desert. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
So, as many of you may have seen already, Master Raven is heading up the 50-year celebration that we've unfortunately had to postpone, but as a placeholder, he has volunteered to run a virtual event just to keep everybody excited and celebrating together. And so for both the virtual event and the physical event that will follow at some point, he is looking for people who are willing and able to help him. So if you have the desire to help, if you have the ability to help, please contact him. You can find him on the Book of Faces, or if you need more direct contact information, let us know and we will put you in touch.
Your Royal Majesties, with your permission, Her Excellency, Mistress Magdalene, has an announcement she wishes to make.
Certainly.
Greetings, Atenveldt. Their Majesties were kind enough to allow me to serve as your Minister of Arts and Sciences. And as such, I've been busy trying to get my feet on the ground, figuring out all the things that need to be done, because arts and sciences thrive in our kingdom. They've never stopped. Now we just need to shine the light on them. So, in keeping, please tune in to your Southwind every month. I will have a missive to keep you all up to date on the official ongoings. Also on Facebook, the Atenveldt Scientists, Artisans and Scientists page, and on our Yahoo group, Aten Arts. There will be updates. And next month is Science September. Focus on the sciences. We all have so much fun with the arts, but the sciences are fascinating. And I'll be here to help you. If you have any questions, please send me emails or posts on Book of Faces. Thank you.
Thank you, Mistress Magdalene. Your Majesty, we now have the presence of Dominique de la Mer.
So this young lady has been doing a heck of a lot of work on those Raffenheim cloaks. And as I understand it, she's presently making one for His Majesty of the West, King
I
Uzak.
am indeed.
So that is it's a large man, and that has to be a large cloak. It's a ton of work.
It is.
You do period cooking, you do culinary experimentation, you do sewing, embroidery, so many arts that today we are honored to be able to recognize you as a flower.
Dauntless are those who create beauty. They are especially valued for the ambience they help generate. Let all who hear our words know that the crown of glorious Atenveldt has heard great tales of the skill and knowledge in the arts and sciences of, and who has enriched our realm and inspired others, that we are proud to name Dominique de la Mar as a companion into the order of the flower of the desert. In witness thereof, we do set our hands this 29th day of Anno Societatis 55, being 2020 in the common reckoning. 3 cheers for this newest flower of the desert. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Your Majesties have business with Jebi of Subduck.
So this gentle has been participating in the SCA since 1994. That's longer than me. 26 years. His camp and the way he dresses is beautifully period, constantly helping, hospitality at its finest. We needed a tent to house a royal at Estrella a couple of years ago, and him and his group came and put the tent up and took care of it and took it down at the end of the war. Just amazing person. And we figured out that he's never been given his award of arms. And so today we right that wrong.
And hear the words of Morgan and Elizabeth, King and Queen of Atenveldt. It is our duty and our pleasure to honor such of our subjects as have brought renown to our land and enriched our lives by their words, skill, service, loyalty, and other desirable qualities. For this cause do we bestow an award of arms to Jebi of Subduck. By our hand, this 29th day of August, Anno Societatis 55, being 2020 in the common era. Morgan, Rex, Atenveldt, Elizabeth, Regina. 3 cheers for this newest Lord of Atenveldt. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
The Majesties request the presence of Runa Gigya.
So Lady Runa works her tail off at Ethereal War. I believe she's taking the role of Kingdom Sheriff. Is that correct? Yeah.
That's correct.
That's a job. Keeping all
It's a
of
fun
us-
one, though.
So it came to our awareness that you worked over 50 hours at war this year.
Yeah, on watch.
Yeah, and you always have that smile on your face, and you're always just so kind and helpful to everybody, and you're always helping. And you're here at court this time, which is better than the last time. So he won't send you the disapproving pictures.
Every time you're crowned, I get to see Morgan holding my AOA. It's delightful.
So, but today we would like to recognize you with a Star of the Desert.
Thank you.
By these presents, all shall know the service and devotion that our subject has performed for the benefit of the Australia War and for the Kingdom of Atenveldt. In recognition, we hereby admit Runa Gigya as a companion of the Order of the Star of the Desert Ghouls. In witness thereof, we do set our hands on this 29th day of August, Anno Societatis 55, being 2020 in the Common Era. Morgan, Rex, Elizabeth, Regina. 3 cheers for this new Star of the Desert. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
I just want to take a minute to remind everybody that the isolation that we've all been dealing with is crazy hard. I know none of us are used to it. We're used to being at big events, surrounded by our friends. And every day I see posts on Facebook of people struggling with it. And I'd like to remind you all to reach out to your friends, especially when you see that they're in need. Make sure that they remember that we're all still here and help them find ways to engage. You know, and if you guys have any ideas that we can do more to engage as a kingdom through this time, please contact us, because we want to do everything we can. It's a tough time and it's been rough on all of us.
The Majesties would have words with Solveig at Rauda.
This lovely lady first came to my notice a couple of years ago at Northern Yule. She had been weaving, and as I recall, she hadn't been weaving for a very long period of time. And she handed me some trim that had stag's heads on it. Like, it was, like, I could do a little bit of weaving when you're talking about ankle weaving, same pattern, no cards, because the cards make me confused. And this thing was amazing. And since then, she's served as the signet for her barony multiple times. We've heard how heavily the barony relies upon her for her skill in calligraphy and illumination. She does a ton of scribal work. She hosts those scribal events for her barony, as well as for the Shire. She works in the kitchen during event feast preparation. She works and gives of herself constantly. And for all of these reasons and so many more, we would like to recognize her today as a beacon of the desert.
Unto the Atenveldt, we, Morgan King and Elizabeth Queen, give greetings. We recognize the honorable service and commitment given by our subject, Solveig at Rauda, which has greatly enriched our realm with admittance into the order of the beacon of the desert, done by our hands on this, the 29th day of August, Anno Societatis 55, being 2020 in the common calendar. Morgan King, Elizabeth Queen. 3 cheers for this newest beacon of the desert. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Their Majesties would see one Gladgearder Anfridor daughter.
So, Lagertha, you have impressed me over the years with your just enthusiasm for the field, and watching you grow as a fighter has really, really impressed me, and I'm honored today to make you a blood fenris.
Take heed, all whom these letters come. We, Morgan and Elizabeth, King and Queen of Atenveldt, do wish all to know that our subject, Gladgearder Armfridor daughter, exhibits dedicated honor and prowess in armored fighting. Thus, it is our wish to admit her into the order of the blood of Fenris. On this day, August 29th, Anno Societatis 55, being 2020 commonly. Morgan, King, Elizabeth, Queen. 3 cheers for this newest blood of Fenris. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip,
Huzzah!
hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Their Majesties would see His Excellency, Master Baldric Barbarian Boulderbane.
So this gentle, for most of our reigns, has forced himself on me, and his arts. It's aggressive, but it's been so appreciated. He does this beautiful wire weave, Viking wire weave, and so every single glory of Atenveldt that we've given out has gone out on one of his chains. He is so giving. He teaches, so generous with his art, and if you sit down for a minute, he'll talk your ear off. He knows what he's talking about. And we were shocked to find out he's never been given an arts award. And so today we write that.
The excellence and great knowledge displayed by one Baldric Barbarian Boulderbane in the arts and sciences has come to the notice of the Crown of Atenveldt. We, Morgan and Elizabeth, King and Queen of these solar lands, are much pleased on this 29th day of August, Anno Societatis 55, also called 2020, to name a companion of our order of the Fleur de Soleil. So do we affirm by our hands, Morgan, King, Elizabeth, Queen. 3 cheers for this new Fleur de Soleil. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip,
Huzzah!
hip, hip.
Huzzah!
So, as I'm sure most of you have seen or heard already, for the year 2021, we have made the determination that Australia War needs to be moved out of February and into November. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about what that means for Atenveldt and moving forward. A lot of folks have been asking if it was going to be at Schneff Farm still. And the answer is no. It will be at a new site. We are working now on securing a new site. Can't give you any details at this point, but we're working hard on it. One of the reasons that we selected November is that, historically speaking, November has more pleasant weather than February does. And so that's sort of what we're chasing there. And making that decision now, although it might seem early for some folks, it allows our volunteers to get a much needed rest. They have been working this entire time on planning for an event that they knew was unlikely to happen in February. And so we wanted to give them a moment to rest so that when war does happen, they can come back recharged, and it can be an even more amazing war because we took our time and did it right. And in addition, we needed to make that decision for financial reasons, because the longer we waited, the more expensive it would become if and when it came to the point where we had to put the stop on the war for February. Unfortunately, sites want their money, and so we were mitigating those costs. So we know that a lot of people wanted to see their family in February. It's so much more important for all of us to stay safe and healthy so that we can go to wars together for many, many years to come.
Their Majesties recognize Dulce de Ilaria of Montenitris.
So Her Excellency had this sweet puppy, Dulce, and he was with her constantly. And I know that it was a tremendous loss for her when he crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. And so we want you to know, Your Excellency, that he is missed by so many, and we would like to enter him as a member of our menagerie.
The well-timed voice of one sweet boy called Dochi has brought joy to all. With affection do we now enter him into our royal menagerie. Done this 29th day of August, Anno Societatis 55, also called 2020, Morgan King, Elizabeth Queen.
Thank you so much, Your Majesties.
It's our pleasure, Your Excellency.
3 cheers for this new member of the menagerie. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Their Majesties would have business with the Knights of St. Michael.
So the Knights of St. Michael, anybody that's ever walked by and has seen that they have a beautiful camp. They're always working on making it better, be it with better walls, furniture, etc. But they're always welcoming to others. And they've hosted countless out-of-town travelers to get people to Australia. And for that and so many more things, I want to make them scarabs of the desert.
There are those groups within our kingdom that through their hard work and dedication help increase growth within our lands. For their outstanding commitment to the betterment of Atenveldt, we are pleased to recognize the work of the Knights of St. Michael with admittance unto the Order of the Scarab of Atenveldt, and grant the use of the pennon or scarab beetle vert and the border indented azure, done this 29th day of August, Anno Societatis 55, being 2020 in the Common Era, Morgan, King, Elizabeth, Queen. 3 cheers for this newest group to enter the Order of the Scarab. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Their Majesties command to see before them Sigrider Husdaughter de Lacy.
Sigrid didn't know she was going to get called into court, and she thought she knew everything. So this is a piece of business that would have gone out in May. Sigrid has been indispensable in the scribal office, making sure that we have all of the scrolls that we need during our reign, and we've definitely kept her busy, and she's never dropped the ball. And for that, today, we would make her our commander of the beacon. Nope, light.
Oh, we got her.
Oh, good. Look at that.
The industrious bee, flying from flower to flower, helps each to ripen to fruition. Small and unassuming amidst the showy blooms, she makes the world a better place. It is our deepest pleasure to recognize those individuals who, like the busy bee, make our kingdom a better place with their industry, kindness, and zeal. Thus do we, Morgan and Elizabeth, King and Queen of Atenveldt, hereby create Sigrider Husdaughter de Lacy, a commander of the Order of the Light of Atenveldt, and bestow upon her a grant of arms, to wit, sable, a key inverted, and on a chief argent 2 compass stars, the sable and the sinister oar. Done by our hand this 2nd day of May, in the 55th year of the Society, and 2020th of the Common Era, Morgan, Rex, Elizabeth, Regina. 3 cheers for this commander of the Light of Atenveldt. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hey, Sigrid, can you put your face up for me? Hi. So, as His Majesty said, that was,
No, put Sam's face
we
back.
got to see Sam. Sam, thank you. As His Majesty said, that was set to go out in May. And we actually made those decisions in December, I think. And we both feel very strongly that you've earned the Commander of the Light. And we're very proud to be able to name you as such. However, in the after time, after the Rona started, you have just stepped forward and continued to shine and led the way for so many in this game that we play. And you've created so much content for people, so many ways for them to connect. And you just emailed us and said, hey, I got this harebrained idea and I want to do this thing. Is it okay if I do the thing? And we were like, yeah, do the thing. And you've done so well with it and just continued to push on. And so we spoke with some of our brothers and sisters of the Pelican about you. And so we would like you to sit a virtual vigil so that we can make you a Pelican the day that we not so virtually step down.
Woohoo!
Congrats.
Thank you.
3 cheers for this newest vigilant of the Pelican. Hip, hip,
Huzzah!
hip, hip,
Huzzah!
hip, hip.
Huzzah!
So now that we're done just throwing extra business in there that our people that are helping didn't really know so much about, we do have one final thing that we wanted to chat about, and that is we did the Grand Queen's Prize that wrapped up about 2 weeks ago. I'm working on getting the prizes out to folks. My apologies, it's taking a little bit of time, but I promise you I've not forgotten you. They are going out. The next activity that we have lined up is actually got a little bit more bardic flavor. And the event is already set up on Facebook. I've not put the topics out there yet, but the way it will work is there will be different threads within that event. And I will start the story with like a single sentence, and then just feel free to jump in there and add a paragraph, post it, and then the next person can come along and add to the story as well. And I think some of the stories are going to be ridiculous. Let's be real. We all have different writing styles. It might be a little, the continuity might be lost, but some of them might be really amazing. And so I'd love to see what sorts of things you all can come up with. And I don't care what your skill level is, write something. I don't care if you're in Atenveldt or some other kingdom. Doesn't matter. Please feel free to jump in there and write something. The only thing that I ask is please keep it PG, because there could be youngsters reading as well. So I hope that this one is fun as well, and I look forward to reading all of your additions to the stories. Do you have any final words, my love?
Before we close court, I just want to remind everybody again what I talked about earlier. Reach out to your friends. Make sure they're okay. It's a tough time on all of us mentally, and just being reminded that you have friends out there keeps people going. And if you've got any great ideas of how we can connect as a family without being in person, please send them our way. We'll work as hard as we can to make them happen. Your Highness, do you want to have anything in closing?
Today was fun. And as His Majesty said, let's work together and make sure everybody's doing fine. And on, a side note, if anybody needs to talk, don't be afraid to message someone. I'm not always the greatest at Messenger, but I will eventually respond. So if you ever have any questions, or if you're curious or you just want to talk, I'm usually at a computer and having to stare at something. So I would love to listen or talk to anybody who's in need. So I think that's all I've got. So
did you have anything?
No, just thank you everybody for joining us today. And we really are looking forward to seeing you in person. But until then, we will see you 2 weeks from today for that investiture and those elevations.
Your Majesties?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rina, I actually had a quick announcement / note, if that's okay.
Of course.
It has to do with your notes about connecting with each other. This may be very specific to me and my little bardic heart, but I have found bardic has been a great way to stay connected with my friends and family in the SCA, as well as now that we're doing everything over Zoom and Facebook, interact with people out of a kingdom that I never would interact with. And there are so many bardics going on right now. Right now, there's a great bardic performance showcase that anyone could compete in, and I will be happy to post links to these. They are also on Facebook, and everyone from any kingdom gave stories and songs about their kingdoms and their baronies. There's also a known world bardic showcase that has every single kingdom, barony, local practice listed, and it's every single day. There is 2 or 3, if not 5 to 10 bardics every day, and that is both on Google Groups and Facebook. So if you are feeling a little bit just out of your SCA loop, you don't have to participate, though it's deeply encouraged and wonderful to interact with everyone. But if you just want to sit and listen or get that sort of SCA soul food. There's so many bardics happening right now over the entire known world that I've found has really kept me connected and rooted to the SCA in a way that has been very difficult. And I would highly encourage everyone to reach out to those groups. I can link them on the Kingdom page, and I will send them to Kingdom Facebook. I 100% always bardic, but definitely even if you just need a little bit of SCA in your life a day of the week, there is a bardic there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
This hereby closes the royal court of King Morgan and Queen Elizabeth, sovereigns of Atenveldt. Long live the king.
Long
live the king.
Long live the queen.
Long live the
the
king.
Long live the crown prince.
Long live
the prince.
Long live the crown princess.
Long live the crown princess.
Long live these sovereign lands of Atenveldt.
Long
Long
live
live the sovereign lands of Atenveldt.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations, especially you.
Congratulations.
Woo! It was a great court, Your Majesties.
Great court, Your Majesties.
Thank you.
Thank you.